Last night, people got to see what astronomers call the blue moon. Now, it's not actually blue, as Rochelle learned. She was a little upset by that. But it's called that because it's the second full moon in the same month. It happens when the moon is closest to Earth's orbit. Kylee is down at the Michigan Science Center. How fun is that? To tell us more about the rare phenomenon. Good morning, Kylee.
Good morning. Yes, I am with Paulette here at the Michigan Science Center, and I actually learned they actually talked about one of the definitions of the blue moon, but Paulette informed me that there's actually two definitions of the blue moon, which is really interesting. So last night we had that super blue moon. Tell us those two definitions about the blue moon.
Yeah, so absolutely. There are two definitions of blue moon, and one of them I call the uppercase B blue moon, and one of them is the lowercase b blue moon. So last night we had what I call the lowercase b blue moon, and that's when we have two full moons in a month. But the original definition, before we came up with the calendars and everything that we have today, was actually the fourth full moon in a season. So winter, spring, summer, and fall. We actually have our fall equinox coming up on September 21st. So the fourth full moon in a season is the original definition. I call that the big B blue moon. But we did have, yes, the second full moon in a month last night, which is that lowercase b blue moon definition.
And it was also a super moon, right?
Yeah.
Last night?
Yes, so it was a super moon, and we use the term super moon as a way to describe the moon being larger than normal. So we have, let's go ahead and...
We have some friends here. We have the sun and earth and the moon to kind of demonstrate this.
Yeah, so we these are called celestial buddies. We actually do sell them in our store, but these are actually my personal ones from home. But we have our Earth here, and we have our moon, and the orbit of the moon around the Earth is actually elliptical. So it's not a perfect circle, and sometimes the moon will be closer to the Earth, and sometimes it'll be further away. And so we call it a super moon when the moon is closer to the Earth. We call that perigee, close to Earth. So that is a super moon. Now, it's really hard to actually see the difference between a regular full moon and a super moon in the sky, just because the size is very slightly different, but it is slightly bigger up in our nighttime sky.
Yeah, and you were telling me earlier, because I thought a few nights ago that the moon was actually really close to us, and then when I looked last night, I'm like, oh, the moon is really far away. And you said these are just illusions.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll take a look at the nighttime sky sometimes, and we'll see the moon when it is like above us, like pretty far above us, and you'll see that it actually appears smaller than when you see the moon a little bit closer to the horizon. And that's it's the same size, so you can actually like stick out your thumb and measure it in both locations. Oh. It is the exact same size. But because the moon is close to things that we're used to seeing, like trees and buildings and stuff like that, it will actually appear larger than when it is further up in the sky. And like I said, it's the exact same size, and you can even measure it with your thumb. Usually I do it thumb at arm's length to be able to see the difference. Yeah,
I'll have to do that next time. And we know that there's different phases of the moon. You have waxing, you have waning. I currently forgot which one is which, but I know that there's those two. So talk to us a little bit about like the moon phases.
Yeah, absolutely. So you said you forgot which ones, and that is a-okay. So I like to remember it this way. Waning means that it is appearing to get smaller. Oh, so waning is going to be on its way to being new. Waxing is going to be on its way to being full. And so we actually only see the moon because of the light from the sun. So if I take our dark side of the moon, this is our shadow here today, and put it right here. So here's our sun, and here's our moon. We only see the moon because of that reflected sunlight. So if we are on the Earth, we would be able to see half of it, right?
Right.
So we can see half of it. We call that a quarter moon because we're actually only seeing half of half math. That gives us a quarter.
We like math here.
Yes, we do really like math here. But when the sun is here and the moon is here, we can only see the shadow side of it. And so we have our new moon. And when the sun is here and our moon is here, we're able to see the whole thing. So this is what we were seeing last night, our full moon. And we were able to see the entire thing facing towards us here on the Earth.
And you said it was our 4th full moon this season, right?
No, this one is the second in a month.
That was the second one in a month.
Yeah, this was the second in a month. And some people I've seen a lot of pictures and stuff like that online, and they've actually edited a lot of those pictures. So you might see pictures online of a blue moon, like physically blue. Don't trust it. Those have actually been slightly edited because the moon doesn't actually change color. It's the same color. We just call it a blue moon because things happen once in a blue moon. It's a sort of a rare thing that happens. So that's why we call it that. And actually, I know some folks saw it this morning close to the horizon and actually appeared in orange color. Yeah. Because all of that light was going through our atmosphere, making it appear orange.
Oh, very cool. Well, right now we're in the planetarium here at the Michigan Science Center. The lights are on, but once the lights go off, there's an awesome light show that happens. So just tell us a little bit about the times, dates that people can come here.
Yeah, absolutely. So right now we're playing a show called A Lunar Journey. It is actually a live interactive show where we talk about the moon, eclipses, and how we can see those different types of eclipses, phases of the moon. And we also talk about moons elsewhere in our solar system because there are some really interesting and unique moons elsewhere in our solar system. So here at the Michigan Science Center, we do play that daily. So we're open to the public Tuesday through Sunday. And then the times for that are 11:30 and 2:30. Those are our show times for A Lunar Journey.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Paulette. Thank you for being with us here this morning. And we do have a really big stargazer, moon gazer, whatever you want to call it. Chris, that is a show that you need to check out. Come here to the planetarium.
Yeah, it sounds like something I'd be totally interested in. Now that I got a good explanation of how that super blue moon occurred, I'm going to head down there right away. Thanks a lot for that, Kylie. Very educational and informative.
And how many times did we go, This is our resident moon gazer.
I do like to look up.